Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Brian Harris. I'm the web, social media, and email coordinator for the Alabama Baptist State Board of Missions in Montgomery, Alabama. We're about 1 minute early, so we're not going to jump in too fast. In fact, I'll show you the view we got here from New York. We actually are live in New York at the Metro New York Baptist Association. And let me flip the camera around real quick so you can see what we're looking at here. Hold on one. And so there's our view outside. I'm looking through the blinds here. We actually were up on the roof a little while ago filming some interviews with some of the folks here at the Metro New York Baptist Association. And in fact, there's one of them. There's George Russ, and I'll let George introduce himself and just talk about church planting here in New York.
Hey everybody, my name's George Russ. I'm the Executive Director for the Metropolitan New York Baptist Association. And we're here in New York City amongst 22 million people trying to plant churches that are culturally relevant and accessible to everybody here from all over the world. We're really glad to come to you today through Periscope.
All right, and sitting right beside him is Sterling Edwards, and he has an Alabama connection. I'll let him introduce himself first, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit.
Yes, my name's Sterling Edwards, and I'm the Director of Church Planning here at the Metropolitan New York Baptist Association. I do have some Alabama connections, mostly through my wife, who grew up in Alabama, and her parents lived in Alabama for 25 or 30 years, and attending Shades Mountain Baptist Church in the Birmingham area, and so that's definitely Alabama connections there.
All right. Well, George, tell us about what your job is here at the Metro New York Baptist Association, and kind of tell us how you got into this.
Wow. Well, I became a Christian through the witness of a church plant on Long Island, one of the first church plants of Southern Baptists in this region. So I've been a part of new churches ever since then. Right now, as Executive Director, my job is to help connect churches for a global impact. That's what we say our association is about. Come join us, and you can have an impact here and around the world. So we're trying to plant churches, raise up leaders, provide training, give access to ministry points for people of all churches around the country.
All right, Sterling, the same question for you.
Yeah, it's essential that an incredible population of about 22 million people that live within a 75-mile radius of Times Square. And so as we look to the population of people and the need for churches to be planted and established, and mostly for us to realize that people are living hopeless lives apart from the gospel, and to be able to look for ways to bring the gospel to these people. So that's really behind all that we're doing, is to be able to recognize the need that exists in this area and community.
I just want to tell y'all we just had a person say hi there from the UK, so hi back to you guys. They want to hear about New York planting. So any other thing, let's go ahead and talk about just how people can get involved. And also want to emphasize, if you have questions, ask them. We're ready to answer those questions about planting here in New York. And either one of these guys would be glad to take those questions from you. So go ahead, George.
Well, we have multiple ways that people can plug into what's happening here. We have a process to help introduce churches to brand new planters, some who haven't even launched yet. They've just arrived or they're just beginning. Other plants have already gotten off the ground, and they need short-term mission help. They need some financial assistance. They need prayer, of course. And we're trying to link people with planters in every place here in the city. So multiple ways.
One person has asked how many churches there are in New York right now.
In our association, we have about 240. That means anywhere from a 75-mile radius of Times Square. So not all of them are in the 5 boroughs, but in those 240 churches, probably close to 50 languages being spoken on any given Sunday.
Wow. One of the things we talked about earlier up on the roof, we were doing some interviews up there, and we were talking about statistics of people that are actually believers here in New York. One of you guys want to speak to that, or?
Well, I think estimates kind of vary, but New York's a very spiritual city. It's secular, but it's very spiritual. We have 800,000 Muslims, and we have 400,000 Hindus and Sikhs and Buddhists and people from all over the world. So estimates range in Center City, Manhattan, from about 3.1% evangelical, but in the outer boroughs, the percentages are a little higher than that. So we think if we can get to 10%, that's kind of like a crest where a real movement is beginning in the city here.
Okay. Well, Sterling, you were in Texas when you came here to New York. Let's talk about your calling, because I'm sure there's someone out there that's maybe feels God's called them to be here in New York. Let's talk about how that happened for you.
Yeah, I grew up in Houston, Texas, spent most of my life in Texas, and was serving in ministry, and really loved the opportunities that God gave us for the ministry. But we certainly felt like God was leading us to a place to be able to bring the gospel and to an area that where there weren't not as many churches and not as many believers. And so God definitely burdened our heart for Long Island, and so we moved to Long Island 9 years ago from Houston, really not knowing much of what we were doing, really not sure of exactly what it was going to look like, but we've seen the opportunity to plant a couple of churches. We're in the middle of planning a third church right now, which kind of leads us back to what George was saying. Even as we're trying to establish this third church plant on Long Island, we've discovered, and through some research there, that there's about 236,000 people that live within a 5-mile radius of this church plant. And so to be able to emphasize the need for churches is really to recognize just what a tremendous population of people there are. And we see that, and even in Long Island, or Suffolk County, New York, there's not a lot of churches. We're not saying that there's no churches. There's not a lot of churches. There's certainly not a lot of Southern Baptist churches. And so that's really what's kind of propelled us towards just reaching out to people and to be able to love people. The New Yorker is by and large very, very cynical and skeptical. And so it takes a long time to start a church here. You don't just walk in and smile and say God loves you. We truly have to demonstrate our own love for them in order for them to hear about God's love for them. And that's a process. It's not just we're unfolding a church or opening up a door or starting a service. In order to be able to really connect with these communities, there is a decision that's being made that says we're going to invest our lives here, and that's really what we're here to do, is to help encourage church planners to do that throughout all of the boroughs of New York City and throughout these areas, but to also come alongside them and provide resources and encouragement and what's needed in order for them to be here for the long haul. To help establish these churches.
What's the first step then? What was the first step when you came to New York?
We connected with the North American Mission Board. We connected with another sending church, and those are probably some of the main avenues that we use here at the Metropolitan Association. We work in conjunction with NAM and trying to be able to get people through, get some potential planners through an assessment process, so we can be able to understand what their strengths are, where there's some need for some growth, and to be able to look at where these opportunities are. And so, contacting us at our website at the mnyba.org is one front door for that, and we work in conjunction with NAM towards being able to begin a process with that. And but making a local contact, and we talk to people. I talked to a guy just the other day who just wanted to explore the possibilities of where to start, and some of that is just having an understanding of what does New York look like? What does it entail? Is this a place, Manhattan might not be the place where you're going to bring 5 kids, in your family towards, but maybe there's another area where that works to your advantage. And it's just kind of having some knowledge and some awareness of, what it looks like and in real time and in real life, and how to be able to sustain that with a high cost of living, and just those type of issues that we face on a regular basis.
And what's some ways that Alabama Baptist churches can help and connect with you guys and come up here and work? And is there things that they can do to help you guys?
Well, Alabama Baptists have been a big part of what we're doing, and your role here is actually expanding. So not only have you sent us some really good planters, but we have internships for students. We give opportunity during the month of March for college students to come on spring break to do various ministry and outreach, servant evangelism projects in the city. We have special events during the year, like a coat distribution in the winter, where we work with church planters and sometimes volunteers provide that event staff to help give away coats, a gospel witness, a cup of hot chocolate, a prayer, things like that. So we have events, and then we have some processes that people can access to. And we have an internship program too called Multiply, where students come and actually are assigned to a local church to work for a semester, a summer, maybe even longer. They actually become part of their staff, and we do some mentoring and guiding and coaching for them throughout the year.
All right, what's the best way for churches and for people who want to, for our Alabama Baptists who want to come up here and connect with you guys? What's the best way for them to start?
Well, I don't know. I think Sterling said it. Would check out our website, mnyba.org. We have a partnership coordinator who will field your phone calls if you call our office and express an interest in working either with an established church or an unreached people group or a church plant, and we take it from there.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this Periscope for today. And one thing I want to point out is George has got his New York Yankees shirt on. I couldn't let that go by.
That's right.
He actually asked me if it's okay to wear it. And
we're on our way to the home office of baseball in a few hours, so, and we're going to the game this afternoon. Yeah,
all right, guys. All right, well, thanks y'all for joining us on Periscope today, and we'll look forward to being back here live again the same time tomorrow. We're talking to Nathan Kreitz and Chris Mills. We'll be talking about collegiates and how we can get them involved in missions out here in New York. And I look forward to having you back there again. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.